Welcome back to Plan B Terraform, this amazing new game in early access with more than 90% positive reviews on Steam. This is our second episode, so don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you want to see the first one, where we really learned the basics. I showed you how to transform what you mine into resources, start building trucks, roads, and grow your cities. Now in this second episode, we are in level 5, we just unlocked the MK2 Depots that are really good, but to build them we're gonna need aluminum bars and polymer bars, a new resource that you can see here. We also have the reinforced concrete as a new resource and the high-tech parts. Quite a few new things, and we want to reach a population of 350 to reach the next level, and I am also hoping that in this episode we reach the trains. Don't hesitate of course to share in the comments below if you have any thoughts, questions, requests for future videos, and let's dive in. Okay, so for those MK2 depots, we need some polymer bars. To make them, we're gonna need some carbon. And the carbon is one of the output of the atmospheric extractors, right? But as I said, we're not gonna use these ones, we're gonna create new ones. This is fully focused on oxygen, and then we can make new ones to focus on the carbon. The other thing we need is aluminum bars. So let's make it close to the aluminum bars. So let's make it over there. As always, we're gonna use a bit of our extractors to extract a lot of this aluminum. So here it is, we're getting a lot of aluminum ore through all of these extractors. It's getting into those depots, then into those depots it's going into those factories to transform into aluminum bars, and then it's going into those depots, and then from those depots it's going to go into assembly plants which are taking those bars but also polymer bars, right? And the same on this side. So now we need the polymer bars. So let's do the same on this side, where this is where we want the polymer bars. Right, something like this. Then that means we need to actually make it with those factories, and those factories are gonna require the carbon, right? So then we need the carbon like this and like this. And then where is the carbon coming from? From those extractors. We're gonna do something like this. I have no clue right now if this is, at a good equilibrium, and that's really not important at this point in the game. The point is a lot more to just get something going, unlock everything, and then we can optimize. But here it is, we have our first depot MK2s that have been created. As you can see clearly, we are not making enough carbon because we're starting to have some reserve there and nothing over here. So let's add a few more. And the other thing is that at this point, we don't need any depot level 1 anymore, right? Those depot level 2 are way better. And given that the resources are limited on the map, let's actually stop making them. We're not going to waste resources. So we can just delete all of this. You can also see that some of my first extractors are done getting all of the resources from their tiles. So it's also a good point to take them out for sure. But now I'm not going to try to optimize this. What I want is to now optimize with MK2 depots. You can actually, if you want, upgrade the level 1 that you had. You don't have, to delete and create new ones. But what's really great with these ones is, as I said, they have a range that is bigger. So if I put one over there, it is going to be picked up. Also over here, all of these are going to be picked up now. Similarly on that side, I can use this one. I can use these ones. They are in range. So that is really great. Okay, so we're making a lot of MK2s. Now what's next? Well, what's next is we want to upgrade our population. So let's go back to our city and check what the city actually needs. It needs some reinforced concrete. Instead of the concrete that is over here, we don't need that over there. Let's just delete it. We can also even delete that route completely, right? What is important is to have now something different. I'm also going to actually delete this one and put it over there. And now we're talking about reinforced concrete. So how do we make that? Reinforced concrete is concrete plus steel bars. So we're already making the concrete over here, but for steel bars, we're gonna need some iron. We have some over there, so I think that's not a bad idea. We can keep this, we're not wasting those resources, right? As long as we don't use them, nothing is happening. Now that we have those MK2, we can really start doing something a bit more funky if we want. Not very optimized right now. And it's the same for our factories, right? They don't need to be next to it. They can be a bit further, like over here. I can do something like this. But I can also do, if I want, something a bit like this, and then put on the other side the concrete. That way this one is 2 x's from this one, but 1 x from this one, and it's the inverse for this one over here. It's 1 x from that one, but 2 x from this one. right? So we can do something a bit more like this. It's the same for roads, right? I can put now a road that will start over there, it will be fine. It is 2x from those two. Let's do the same on the other side. So it is, we have the extractors, getting some iron, transforming the iron into steel bars, and then we can get the steel bars out. And now we're getting into where it gets interested. We're gonna have 2 inputs and 1 output, and I want to do that a bit at scale. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start bringing the resources. So we're bringing some concrete from this side. All right, let's put, for example, 3. We also need to start bringing the steel from that side too, right? So we're gonna have the road that does something like this. And so we deliver, over here, our steel bar. I'm gonna put 10 on it. And we're gonna do the same on the other side for the concrete. We're gonna deliver also 10 truck. Cool. So because, they have a range of 2, this, I can deliver it here. It can then be sent there and then there. Same over here, it can be sent there and then there. And then we can put the factories, right? So let's put the factories, and I put them over here to make the reinforced concrete. But what's cool, right, is we can do also second layer, because that's 2 tile away. I haven't looked at the numbers. I mean, this is probably not enough at all, right? Like 30. We're gonna need more of these over there. But it's to show you more kind of the concept. And then at the output, we're gonna have the reinforced concrete, right? So reinforced concrete, it's 2 tiles away from this one, so all good. And then we can have, a exit route that's gonna go, for example, to London, right? So London, maybe merge with this road as quickly as possible, avoiding the resources. Cool. And we also need some Mark IIs over here for the reinforced concrete. Perfect. And then just some trucks, probably a few more than 10, because that's a long road. But that's okay. That's okay. Reinforced concrete, yes. This is only 2 per annum with 1. So we're gonna want way more. Let's go for 60. And if we start it, I hope that everything will be all right. Let me check. We're starting to deliver the concrete, right? Then it's starting to be delivered to the different ones. As I said, I'm pretty sure we're not producing or transporting enough at all. So let's increase that by a lot. Let's go crazy. We'll probably need way more of these too. But it's more to show you what you can do. This is slowly but surely coming and sending to this side. Same on this side. We don't have a lot of reserves yet. All the way over here. And we are green. We're growing. We're growing. The demand is also growing. So we're going to need to check that. But I think we're well on our way for the 350. By the way, if you don't like a city growing on a certain side, you can definitely delete them. The only thing is you're going to lose that population and then it needs to be recreated. So you're losing a few seconds if you wish. And here it is, we've reached 350. So we're at level 6, which is the first level where instead of growing our population, now we want to actually increase the temperature of the planet. We're at minus 58 degrees Celsius. We just want to increase by 1 degree. I don't think I'm ready to live on this planet yet, but yeah, let's definitely do that. We can also double check what's happening to our city. Our city still needs the same elements, so it will probably continue to grow as long as we look at the demand. But in the meantime, we have unlocked over here the terraforming. But the first one for greenhouse gas generator. Basically the opposite of what's happening on Earth right now, where we have too many greenhouse gases. Now on this planet there's not enough, so we need to start pumping some into the atmosphere. To do that, we're gonna need mechanical parts and high-tech parts. So the mechanical parts, we already saw that before. This is steel, so basically just iron. The high-tech part is slightly more complex because it's aluminum bar and polymer bars. So aluminum ore and carbon, right? Which means that now we're gonna need iron for the mechanical parts. We're gonna need carbon, which is the O2 extractors, and we're gonna need aluminum. So let's find a place that has both aluminum and iron together. I mean, those two are not too bad. Over here, we could make a lot, right? There's a lot of space. What is the altitude? It's also a very high altitude, more than 500 meters, but it's also close to the pole. So there's a lot of ice over here. That's interesting. But yeah, I think we're gonna do that. So let me build that and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so the first part is over here. We're taking a lot of aluminum ore, right, putting it into those depots. One trick you can see is because this is 2 tiles away, you don't have to put them one to one, right? I can put one, then another extractor, then a second one, then again extractors. Then we have all of my factories to transform them into aluminum bars. Then this is exited over here. And then we have the trucks that are depositing over there, right? With the second one over here. We then need on top of those aluminum bars some polymer bars. They are coming from over here. We have all of those atmospheric extractors with carbon only. Then the carbon is transformed into polymer. It goes over here and then it's jumping over the road because remember it can jump from 2 tiles. So that's perfect. And then with that we're making all of those high-tech parts that are coming over there. Then we're gonna want to send those high-tech parts closer to the iron, right? Now we need to make some mechanical parts. And so with that, we have the high-tech part there, and then we're gonna need, on top of that, the mechanical parts, right? So we're taking the iron, transforming the iron into steel bars, then the steel bars are going over here into mechanical parts, and the mechanical parts are just going across the street. Only one truck, that's not gonna be enough. Let's send a few more. And here it is, we have already created 12, so now let's start building them. Now we can build them, but actually for them to function, they're gonna need some resources. We need to give it some sulfur and some fluoride. Luckily, we have some just over here. It's not actually that much, so I think this will get emptied quite quickly, but to get us started, that doesn't look too bad. So on this one, there is no output, or the output is in the atmosphere. So we don't need to do the same trick. We can do something even better in the sense, a bit like this. Let me show you. Right, we put like this, then on this side you're going to have the sulfur, and then on this side we're gonna have the fluoride. So we can do something like this, and then we just need to get it over there, need to get it over here. So that's pretty easy. Let's just go for the full mining thing, because again, there's actually not that much resources over here. Okay, that should work. Let's give it a second. It's extracting, it's going to start sending to all of these, and then slowly but surely it's gonna start going up this side, and then this is starting. Now we're starting to send this gas into the atmosphere, going up, and with that soon the temperature is also going to go up very slightly. It's gonna take time, I'm not gonna lie. Perfect. And we have also basically reached already level 7, because for level 7 we needed 1000 of population in our biggest city, and we are at 999. Let's find London. Where is London? Over here. Our demand has increased quite a lot. We're 74, but we still have some reserves, so it's working fine. Perfect. And so we're already at level 8. But more importantly, we have now unlocked the trains. We have unlocked the trains and the rails, of course. The trains are not gonna go on the road. They need some rails. But the other big thing we have unlocked is that now our city is starting to create some waste. And because we are not disposing of this waste, we're not doing anything with it, the city is unhappy. I can understand. I also don't want to have too much waste around me. The other thing is now we need to deliver high-tech parts on top of the oxygen and the reinforced concrete. The next level is definitely gonna be interesting. We actually don't need to increase our population, to be honest. To go to the next level, we need to increase temperature, and that's going to just be done by this, right? So we can leave that going and focus on actually making trains. So to make some rails, we need concrete and steel bars. That's not too hard, we've already done that in the past. The one that's slightly harder is the train, because to make one train, we need 4 mechanical parts and 4 high-tech parts. So that's actually very similar to what we did over here, right? If I'm not mistaken, this is mechanical parts and high-tech parts. Problem is we don't have enough mechanical parts at all. What I can definitely do is just change a few of these to train. So we basically need a lot more of those iron extractors. But yeah, we've made our first train already, because now we have a lot of green gas generators, so I don't need that many. Let's make a few trains, even if I'm not gonna need hundreds of trains, because you're gonna see the trains are a lot more powerful than our trucks. But yeah, let me just upgrade this slightly. Okay, so we're now making a lot more of those mechanical parts, and as you can see now, the trains are jumping. This is perfect, but we need some rails. Rail is concrete plus steel. And this is something we've also done before over here. We had the concrete and we had the steel, and it was coming over here to make some reinforced concrete, right? But what we can do is basically have the exact same thing on the other side. So let me just show you. Up, up, up. So that way, you know, it's easy. It's still going to deliver with the same truck. But instead of putting a factory, this time we're going to put a couple of assembly plants to make those rails. I mean, we probably don't need that many, sorry. I think I went a bit overboard over here. Let's do it like this. That should be fine. Whereas you can see it's starting to deliver now a couple. Now we do see that we definitely don't have enough of those steel bars. So let me increase the number of trucks and the production over here too. Of course, this is not perfect in the sense that it is not easy to decide what is the priority. If you really want to have something a bit more stable, then I suggest, you know, instead of using the same, you create now a new base to create those rails. But yeah, now slowly but surely we're starting to make a lot of rails, so that's great. I'm not gonna completely stop the trucks because I do think from time to time we will need trucks. I do think we have way too many right now. And we are now already at level 9. To do the next one, we're gonna need to also start developing our second city. For now, we are focusing only on London. We need to do basically the same for a second city. I'm gonna do that offline because I don't think you really need to see that. It's exactly the same, but I'll show you, of course, how I did it in a bit more of an optimized manner, maybe using trains this time, so that in the next episode, we can start getting into the waste disposal and the recycling, which is something quite important because basically we need to make sure that we actually use what we're getting from the recycling. Otherwise, you know, our city is not gonna start growing. Please don't hesitate to share if you have any questions, thoughts, requests in the comments below, to smash the like button, and I hope to see you next time.